Hello, and happy National Pet Parents Day. Hi friends, this is Stephanie on day 29 of the 365 Live Challenge, and today is National Pet Parents Day. That's my angel baby Clarabelle right there, and I thought that we would just take today to brag on our pets. So, if you have a fur baby, or a feathered baby, or a scaled baby, if you have snakes or turtles, brag on them. Let me know. Comment below. What are their names? What kind of animals do you have? What are their names? What are your favorite things about them? I know that today is a cold and rainy day, and I am so looking forward to snuggling with Clarabelle. She is a really snuggly girl, and she comes right under the covers at night, and she keeps me so warm and snuggly, and that's one of my favorite things about her. So don't hesitate if you're watching this or if you're listening, go ahead and comment right away and tell me about your babies. So today is National Pet Parent Day, and there are so many wonderful benefits to having a pet. The benefits of pet parenthood include increased immunity, and pet parenthood has also been associated with decreased depression, decreased anxiety, lowering stress, lowering blood pressure, reducing the risk of heart attacks, and reducing the risk of strokes. Those are huge health benefits to having a fur baby or an animal family member in your home. So I would love to share the story of Clarabelle because when I was growing up, I definitely never thought that I was going to be a pit bull mom. My mother has always been very afraid of dogs, especially large dogs. But growing up, I was always instructed never to touch a dog, never to pet a dog, never to feed a dog, never to play with a dog. The message that I received from mom was, dogs bite, dogs are dangerous, dogs can be scary, just stay away. And if a friend, says it's safe, you just say, no, my mom won't let me. So all growing up, I did not have any interaction really that I can remember at all with dogs through my childhood. And somehow, into early adulthood, through college, my friends started becoming dog parents. And I think the first dog that I fell in love with, the first big dog, was a Rottweiler puppy named Zeus. And he was a friend of a friend's dog. And I met him first when he was a very, very tiny puppy. So he fit on my lap and I could play with him. And I was, there was no way I could be afraid of Zeus because, this Rottweiler puppy didn't fit in the palm of my hand, but fit in my lap. Was so tiny. Had to pick him up to get in my lap. He couldn't even make it on the couch himself. And I went back over the friend of the friend's house a few weeks later, and me having no experience with dogs, having no idea how fast dogs grow. The next time that I saw Zeus, he got on my lap, and his belly was on my lap, and his head was on one side of me, and his tushy was on the other side of me, and he was looking at me like, Stephanie, why aren't you holding me? Why aren't I in your lap? And I was like, you've grown, buddy. So I think that Rottweiler named Zeus was the first large dog that I ever really met and fell in love with and bonded with. And soon after that, I had quite a few friends that started adopting pit bulls. So my friend Anna was a neighbor of mine at the time who had this wonderful pit bull named Snorkel. And how can you be afraid of a dog named Snorkel? So I fell in love with Snorkel. And then one night I found myself at my friend Eli's house, and he had 3 pit bulls, I think, at the time. And I was sitting on the couch, and a pit bull got on top of me, and then 2 pit bulls got on top of them, and I was in the bottom of a big pit bull pile, and they were just such cuddly, warm, snuggly dogs. I started to really become affectionate towards a pit bull breed. Now, it's fair to say my whole life I've always been kind of the kind of person that's been drawn towards the underdog. So I don't know if the terrible reputation that the media gives pit bulls had anything to do with my love for them, but I decided I want to be a pit bull mom with no dog experience. So I had always kind of wanted to volunteer in animal rescue, but my mom, again, had forbade me from ever getting involved in like shelter work because she said, I'm not going to listen to you cry every time you come home and you had to leave your favorite dog at the shelter. Or I'm not going to hear you cry every time you go back and your favorite dog at the shelter didn't make it from one. And to be fair, you know, I'm very sensitive towards animals. I'm a vegan. I'm very sensitive towards animals, and she's probably right. It probably would have hurt my heart. And probably because I knew that, I never really sought it out until I knew I wanted to become a pet mom, a pit bull mom in particular. So I finally found a rescue near me called Out of the Pits. They're an amazing rescue. Their dogs are kept in foster homes, so there's no scary shelter to leave them in at night where there's, you know, gates and barking and, you know. And so I filled out an application to become a volunteer. Now, I can't imagine what these people thought, like, because the application asks about your experience with dogs and the pets in your family, and I'm like, we had cats growing up. I had a hermit crab, a couple of tiny turtles. That was it. No dogs, and definitely no pit bulls. But they accepted me, and I went through a training program to learn about dog handling, dog behavior, dog safety, and really fell in love with the organization. And after a good solid year or so of volunteering with Out of the Pits, handling their dogs, I was ready to adopt my beloved Clarabelle. So I had to wait for the right fit, of course. And the picture of her with Santa, she was almost a year old. She's a January baby, and she's 4 years old right now. But in that picture, she was almost a year old. And I love that picture because it shows her happiness. She has that great smile, and she's a very, very happy, joyful, energetic girl. Also very strong-willed, but I've always admired strong women, so it's hard for me to complain about her strong sense of will. And so I finally met my beloved Clarabelle. It was September 22nd, not that I remember, and fell in love with her. And she didn't have her rabies shot. She wasn't spayed. She needed a lot of little kind of love. And after her rabies shot and she was spayed, then I adopted her a month later. So a month after I met her, I did she was a foster failure on purpose. She was definitely a foster to adopt. So I fostered her with the intent of adopting, assuming that we were a great fit for each other, and we are. I don't care what you say about biology. That is my girl. She is food motivated. She loves to snuggle under the covers. She loves to sleep in. She is not a morning person. Even if she has to get up early to pee, she will get me up early. We will go pee, and she will come right in the house, get right back under the covers, get right in bed, fall back asleep, and be snoring in 10 seconds. Like, she's my girl. So that's Clarabelle Ann. I've talked about before how we do a lot of training classes together. We do a lot of rally right now. She has her Canine Good Citizen certificate. She has her American Temperament Test certificate. We're working towards CGCA, which is Canine Good Citizen Advanced, and maybe, hopefully, my dream would be therapy dog work someday. I'd love for her to love on some burly people who need some big strong pit bull love. I think she'd do great at like halfway houses and homeless shelters. And I have a friend who actually brings her pit bull therapy dogs to a prison. So I would love that someday for Clarabelle, but you know, we'll see. So please tell me about your I will keep wanting to say fur babies, but again, if you have a bird or a snake or a hermit crab, that's just as important to me. So tell me all about your animal family. Tell me what kind of animals you have, what their names are. What do you love the most about them? Mine is a rescue. I hope yours is a rescue. I really support adopting, not shopping. The statistics for animals euthanized in shelters is just astronomical in the United States, and for pit bulls in particular, in the shelter system, 1 in every 600 to 800 pit bulls will get a home and get out of that shelter, and the rest will not. So super important to me to promote rescuing and adopting of our fur babies. And I know my local shelter, you know, has all kinds of animals. You know, when I say fur babies, they have rabbits, they have guinea pigs, and I even have a local friend who does bird rescue. So, you know, it really doesn't matter what kind of animal you're looking for. You know, you can Google anything these days, and if you look up the type of animal and rescue or adopt, you're going to be connected with organizations or people that can point you in the right direction to adopt the love of your life, because our fur babies really are so good to us. Our animal friends are so good to us. And again, they boost our immunity. They lower our stress. They lower rates of depression and anxiety. They lower our blood pressure. They lower the risk for heart attack and the risk of stroke. And that's why even therapy dogs and therapy dog work. If you don't have a pet, or you live in a place where you can't have a pet, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy the benefit of pets. You can definitely do volunteer work like I did. Before I got Clarabelle, I did so much hands-on volunteer work with Out of the Pits. I have a little less time now that I have her. But, you know, I came home from those volunteer visits so happy because I was loving on animals for that whole time. So I always feel like I get so much out of volunteer work, but volunteer work with animals through Out of the Pits, I can not even tell you how many times fold I feel like I got more getting loved on by those pit bulls that I worked with than they got back from me. So I would love to hear about your animals. I know that they're very special to us and they mean a lot to us. So tell me your experiences of how wonderful that they have been to you on National Pet Parents Day. This is Stephanie Bandozik on day 29 of the 365 Live Challenge. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. I love getting to know you through your comments and your questions, so please leave those below. I hope that you're having a beautiful and blessed day. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and of course, take care of our animals.